Greetings, queens and kings, if you stopping by. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are all family here. I absolutely love all of my subscribers, and it means the world to me that you took the time to stop at my channel and take a little peek and a little look at what we do. Now, yeah, definitely click like, subscribe, share, yeah, and let's get into it. Family, we gonna jump right into it because I'm late. Because y'all sister been acting, y'all. Let's get into it. Okay, so now we have Andy at the office, and she got her old friend from law school who specializes in criminal. And I'm like, Andy, why you ain't never hit up a brother? You were so stigmatized by old Gary. Is this brother single? You could have been down with him. He looked like a good man. Anyway, he did a little investigating and got a lot of stuff on Gary. And he said, but I want to warn you, why did you, get involved with this guy? Basically, you need to run as far away from him as you can because he done discovered some bad stuff in that envelope. And she said, that's what I'm trying to do. Like, rid him for good. So he wanted to give her that disclaimer. And I'm like, wow, this man has really been in some deep stuff. You had no idea the monster you was dealing with. But she thanked him and appreciated, showed him her appreciation. And also, he let her know, by the way, all that stuff was just political garbage with Jordan. He's totally innocent. Now you have, I think Miss Marie, I think is her name. She is this, billionaire philanthropist. Everyone knows her. She heard, I guess, that she wanted to deal with the best. Word out on the street, I guess, that our girl Andy is just that in her law firm. So she stopped by, and also she got a recommendation from Jordan, and Andy really appreciated that his woman could definitely help her. This woman is divorced. She's scorned. She want to protect that money. And hey, why not a scorned woman deal with another scorned woman and take action, right? So definitely, Andy was totally, totally shocked. But this is one thing. Did you notice? I'm like, for someone who's part of a high profile law firm, you're looking to make partner, you was coming off a little weak and lacked confidence in what you do, Andy. You act like you was, first just getting out of law school for the first year at the firm. Like, come on, girl, buckle down. Act like, you are that lion that you claim you are in the courtroom, because that's what Miss Marie wanted to see. She wanted to see that you were going to pull no punches, and you had to show and prove to her that you were the one to handle her case. Because, you was coming off a little shaky, like you was a little nervous, like you wasn't that pit bull that she needs. And she's like, well, what it is that I have to do, to prove that to you. And she was like, honey, I shouldn't have to ask you. You're going to have to ask that. And she was right on the money. I remember this sister, this actress from back in the day. She's been acting for the longest. And, I love seeing her and Sistas. She is really sharp and on point. She's a veteran in the acting game. So I'm glad to see her on this cast. Now, what we see here is our girl at the Vanguard Hospital dealing with these freezing of the egg situation. And she was a little nervous. So the nurse was telling her, she could understand. They did a lot of poking and prodding on our sister to get those eggs, ultrasounds and whatnot. And while she's there, guess who she sees? Our sister, Miss Bougie herself, Karen. Surprised to see Sabrina there, because of course she don't want her girls to know she's actually getting this DNA test, which is the right thing to do. So, Sabrina shed some light on the situation, and, just having to do this by herself and what she had to experience was really a lot. And the realization that she may have to be going through this, process alone, it tugged at Karen heartstrings a little bit, so she could have understood that. And then she said, what are you doing here? Now, old girl was going to lie and say she was just there for a regular visit. She was like, you was not too long at a visit. See, that's how close the sisters are. They know what's going on in each other's lives at all times. So don't even try to lie. she realized, yeah, I did tell her that. So let me tell you, I'm getting that DNA test. So she was like, oh, okay, you are. And she said, well, it's not really for Zach, or shall I say, Fatima, but it's really for me. And they did a little niceties and went on her way. And I'm like, yeah, you need to do it for you because you need to find out once and for all. And she turns back and looked like all sad and sympathizing, like, for Sabrina. I'm like, don't feel bad for Sabrina. She doing this on her own because she wants to be a mother, whether she has a man in her life on her own. You, on the other hand, Missy, are pregnant and don't know who your baby daddy is. So if anyone should be giving the sad eyes, they should be giving it at you. But that's Miss Bougie Karen. And she tends to think, I don't know how many of you feel that way, but I do, that she's better than the rest of the sisters. So here we got Hayden wanting to know, like, why is Miss Marie, billionaire philanthropist, doing here in Andy's office? She was like, because they handling business, like, mind yours. And so she like, oh, well, I'm going to find out. So he being all nosy. And Fatima's like on his butt as usual. Like, she's here because, she needs business and she's with the best. So, this woman comes out and I know she can smell a brown noser a mile away. You're not going to put no game on her. She probably like, look at this little troll. What did he want up here trying to kiss my behind? Talking about he's soon to be partner. I'm like, Hayden, stop speaking ahead of things. You are not going to be a partner. So they did their little goodbyes and Andy's all psyched and they added extra, I'm sure, for Hayden. And they going Hayden is over here upset like, yo. And they like pick your jaw up off the floor and put it back because this is the big fish that may make Andy partner. So them wheels are turning because he's like, ain't no way in hell I'ma let this trick sit up here and make partner with this woman, but this is just a person that may do just that. So his mind is brewing. He ready to get over there to Gary. So now Fatima tells her, she mentions Karen and going to get that DNA test, and she was like, oh yeah, okay. And she's like, yeah, they probably at the hospital now. And Andy was like, well, okay, you can go over there. So she wasn't really going to tell her because she was going to let Karen and Zach handle it on their own. But when the boss says you can go, you can best believe she was about to take off and be there for her man. Oh, yeah. So go ahead, Fatima, and give your man support. In the meantime, we have this, if you want to call him a man, this monstrosity of a devil coming to see Tamara, because it wasn't going to stop at the text, okay? The little voicemails about what he going to do to her and what you need to think about my big D when you with your man or whatever. He going to meet her at some hotel or what have you, saying, oh, this is where you stay. She was like, you done dug up all the information on me. Good and well I ain't staying in no hotel. But, like I said before, we didn't know if it was her and Hayden scheming against Gary. I still don't know if Hayden's a part of this. Or was she scheming on her own, or if it was just her and Gary just being doggish. But we see that it's a little plot that Tamara set up to, I don't know if she's doing this for Hayden, or if she's just doing this for herself to get that coin and blackmail him. But of course, they sleep together, and you see the pen with the red light. I'm like, yes, get him, girl. I hope you get some good information. And our little smarty pants, he's done with his thing and he wants to brag on how good he is and how better he is than Hayden. I mean, that just shows the insecurity of a man with Gary, that you got to go sleep with your, I'm not even going to say friend, because you're not a friend to Hayden. You just used him to get to Andy and get information. But, now that you're done with Hayden, you're going to sit up there and sleep with his wife, the one you said that's no good. It just shows, how low down and dirty you are. But in the meantime, our girl is 2 steps ahead of you. And I'm surprised when you grabbed your phone, you didn't notice the light on the pen. So I guess you're just not that smart, Gary. And old girl is looking like this is her meal ticket right here. Like, if it doesn't work out with Hayden, I guess she'll be using Gary to get what she wants. All right now. So, Gary, your days of messing over people may very soon be over. Now, we have our girl Danny, who I'm so proud of. She is going on over here to her therapist. She contacted her this morning to go over some things because she's still dealing with the situation with Tony and how to handle that. And the therapist was laughing at her because she said, yes, I was very much embarrassed, ran into his children. They saw my goodies. And, the therapist kind of laughed at that. And she said, I'm glad you're getting a, joke at my expense. I guess this therapy session will be free. I'm like, that's right, Daddy. Don't be laughing at me. So she explained, the therapist basically wanted her to know how she felt about children. I guess, did she ever think about being a mom? And I think all of what Andy has been through, she probably never thought, especially what she went through with men, if she was even good enough to be a mom. But it was clear in therapy that she cares a lot about him and she wants a future with him. Being that stepmother, I don't think not that she doesn't want to be a mom or a stepmom. She appreciates and respects, his love and how he takes care of his children. But it's the thing of, is she worthy of stepping in that place? Is she worthy of being a mom to anyone's children, let alone her own? So it's really letting her think, like Sabrina, about maternity and getting older and, what you've done in your life before and the trauma you've been through and how to deal with that to make it better going forward. But I'm proud she's having the tools to get it done. Now this Mr. Doing Too Much brings Karen some lunch because he knows that he was going to be late. So, oh, you didn't have to do that. So he gave it to her, and so this is what I mean by Zach doing too much. His mother told him that when he came to the opening of the salon. What are you doing here with roses? You're going to set the wrong impression in Karen's head. You're going to play into her vulnerability and the fantasy she has for the two of you together with this child. And, he said, well, she told him that she filled out the paperwork, and he's like, oh, you think you know so much about me? And she was like, I probably know more about you than you do. And he's rubbing the belly and talking about his big head, Zach Jr. And that's what Karen loves. And so to see Fatima come through that door and put a pin in her balloon, in her fantasy, and her, the little family that she hopes her and Zach could be with this child, really messed Karen up. Her bitterness came back out. Like, what are you doing here, Zach? I told you I just wanted it to be us. And those words were key. She just wants it to be the two of you in her life, period. And Zach saying, I'm sorry, Karen. I didn't know she was just going to pop up, was really insulting to Fatima, who just wanted you to show support. You don't own that hospital, Karen. You can't tell him and his fiance what they can do. If she wants to support her man, let her support her man. That's how Karen's intentions in all this, because it's about not liking the fact that he's engaged to Fatima. She wants Zach to herself, even if it's in her mind. If she could do whatever she can to get this man back, she would, because it's not messing up the test at all, Fatima being there. So the nurse want to make a little joke. Oh, Karen and Zach, Zach like, no. It will be none of that. Don't do that, please. I understand, Karen, you wanted to deal with this. You think it's a personal matter, but take care of the DNA and don't worry about his fiance. They're supporting him. He's in the room on his own. You're not even in the room with him, so don't worry about it. Now, Karen comes by, of course, to apologize. Thank Jordan for bringing Miss Marie, this big fish of a client, to help her. That was really nice of him. And of course, she wants to kiss all over him. But his thing is, why didn't you believe me before? It took now this private eye, or her attorney friend, investigating it to find out that he's clean. Just a negative, nasty political gain, and gave him information on that. So you have to realize, are you going to support him through thick and thin, Andy? Or is she going to, she's just dating and just having a good time, because this man is serious about her. And he's serious. He did a good thing in helping her career. So she has to realize, and be honest on her feelings and where she wants this relationship to go with Jordan. Now, in the meantime, they're waiting on the test for Zach to get his needle. And of course, we know that he's afraid of needles. So this was a little comical because, he appreciates now the support. But now it's time to hold his hand. And he's like, wait, slow down. You're going too fast. And I'm like, come on, Zach. You don't have to deal with what Karen dealing with. Look at him passing out. Oh, my God. I died when he acted like he was fainting. It was just too much. But, what you going to do about seeing the birth of a baby, whether it's Karen's or Fatima's in the future? You better man up, Zach. Toughen up. So now you have our man Hayden. going over to the office, and Gary really don't want to be bothered with him. He's like, "What do you want now? You want to bother me? You wasn't answering my calls before." And then he's like, "Yeah." And then he wants to joke around about, "Oh, what's up with your neck?" He noticed the hickey that little does he know his wife put on his neck. He talk about, "Yeah, Tamara be doing that to me." So he know about those little passion marks on the neck. I'm like, same person. Now he goes to tell him, guess who came by Andy's office. Now, before, Gary didn't want to be bothered, but he said if it's about bringing Andy down here, listen. So he told him, yeah, I want to make partner. This chick is not going to get this big fish of a billionaire client. And when Gary heard that, he was like, see, that's why you come to me, because I know her. I did some work with her in the past, helped her make some money or whatever. So he thought he had it in the bag. He thought his relationship was so good that he'll be able to help Gary and pull this big fish away from her, and I guess bring her in the hands of Hayden. Like, this woman is stupid. This woman is far too smart to listen, I'm sure, to anything Gary will have to say. But of course, he think he has it like that, or at least he wants Hayden to think he got it like that. So he's still troubled, I'm sure. You can see a look on his face like, how did she get this? Like, who's helping her? Like, I didn't think she was even this smart to pull a woman like this. So I'm sure he's still a little nervous. In the meantime, Andy calls Fatima while she's at the hospital to let her know that this dog, Gary, set Jordan up. Like, he planted all this in the news to destroy his career. And I'm going to face this so-and-so because, she's so tough and she can handle him on her own. This psychotic, crazy man that she was once in a relationship with, she feels she can actually stand alone to deal with him. Fatima like, oh no, I'm about to leave this hospital and I'll be over at your house, because ain't no way in the world I'm gonna let you confront Gary by yourself. And I don't know why Andy thinks she's tough enough to deal with Gary alone in that house, but for some reason she thinks she can. And I don't even know why she wants to be in a room by herself with him after all she's discovered. Now, in the meantime, we have Karen little boy toy that, has a little crush on us stopping by the shop. Now, Pam is funny because she highlighted my favorite movie scene, Poetic Justice, when Janet Jackson told Tupac, you want to smell my punani? I said, you are insane, Pam. But he came to check on his girl with the many problems that she has. I don't even know why old boy wants to be bothered, but he found out she wasn't there, so he left. Now, in the meantime, our man Aaron calls. I did not know if he was going to ever come back to Sistas, but I'm glad he is, because he's going to have to deal with his babies. Yes, I said it, his babies. So, checking on Karen. She says she's all right. She's not here, though. But in the meantime, I need to talk to you, Aaron, because, she needs an investor for her famous flying off the shelf hair products. So, Aaron always thought she was funny. They always had that little relationship. So, of course, he's listening, and he may very well be her investor, because you're not going to keep swiping Karen's credit card, Pam. That's not professional, and that's not cool. So now, Andy came by to see Sabrina after her session, and yeah, it's still in the morning and she's drinking wine because that took a lot out of her. So she let Karen know that, Sabrina know, oh Lord, I'm getting these names. Sabrina let Danny know that she ran into Karen at the hospital. She was like, what her little sneaky butt up to? She was like, she was there getting a DNA test, which Danny thinks she very well needed to do. And she let her know, she was there for her procedure and how that went. And in the meantime, they talking about their lives and, how things are going, and how Rich and Tony are both very good in the bed. They come from DD University and they graduated summa cum laude, magna cum laude, because I guess they just so huge. And, just how, in therapy, Danny was telling her, it really revealed a lot. And, she said you must like them because, you're really looking to improve yourself, and that's a good thing. Now, Gary is over now at the penthouse, and Fatima is there with her bag, with her stuff ready for him. And he's like, oh, God, not her. So, yeah, you see him look like he's ready to come through that penthouse, guns a blazing. So the look in his eyes looked like he meant business. And, Fatima stepped out, but I'm glad she's there because, like I said, Andy would not have been able to handle Gary. He might have sat up there, did something to you, strangled you, put the body in the basement, or hid you somewhere in that penthouse. He is the one that bought it for you. There's probably a secret compartment you didn't know anything about, and that's where you would have ended up. But she told him, and I know what you did to Jordan. He laughed it off because he thought, like, how you gonna prove this? But she said, I got a lot more evidence, and you don't want me to go to the feds about it because I'm sure they would be interested in it. Because, Gary tried to come off like all threatening and tough, but she was like, oh no. And so once she hit him with that, he took it down a little bit. But then she said something that I found, really comical, because she said, you're going to also stay away from Penelope. First of all, I don't know how Penelope became your best friend all of a sudden after you unlearned all this. And that's their business. At the end of the day, that's between her and Gary. She don't want to be stupid and not leave Gary alone, and that's on her. I really don't care because, Penelope acting like a real dingbat and she getting on my last nerve. So to interfere with that information, I don't know what Penelope gonna do with that. And Gary knows how weak Penelope is, so we see how she'll handle the information Andy shares with her. But she told him basically stand down, leave her alone. So later, he leaves, and then Fatima and Andy spoke about that. So I don't know how that's going to be handled in the future. We shall see. But she let her know, yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a part 2 to that. Now, Karen is now at the doctor's office getting her DNA test. But in the meantime, they have to, ooh, Lord, look at that needle. They have to, yeah, that's something when you have to do DNA tests while the child is still in there. Those needles are no joke. So the doctor was getting her a little nervous because she was doing tests. She saw the heartbeat. Everything was fine. But then she realized something was interesting going on. There's 2 babies on that ultrasound. And Karen, like, what? Oh my God. And her thing is like, it's a blessing, but you can't get tested now for one sac because they're in 2 different sacs. Oh yes. I don't know if anyone out there don't know that, but you can have twins conceived at 2 different times and 2 separate sacs, but they're both, in your uterus, and they can be conceived by 2 different men. Yes, I found that out some years ago. 2 different men, 2 different dates of conception. And I believe this is Karen's story. Now, I'm sure that took her breath away. Now she's not only having 1 child, she has 2. Yeah, well, double the child support, I guess, huh, Karen? From whoever baby daddy is. So I cannot wait. We are about to hop in for episode 9 and get into what's next. Peace, fam. Peace, fam. And remember, live the life you deserve and stay authentically you.